Now they've had a tough end to the series against Baltimore, losing 2 out of 3 there as a whole, and then a loss to the Padres last night. And things were looking good for a long time, but now the Yankees have lost 3 straight. So I'll try to figure out where you're at. Are you concerned at all with the Yankees right now? Is this just a small hiccup that they're in, or are they back to where they were, where they started? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I stand by what I said earlier in the intro. I think that the Yankees. I guess I could say I'm slightly concerned, but I'm not overly concerned or overly excited whenever they play, bad or good or even when they're in between. Because as I said, the Yankees kind of have this every season. They have a portion of the season where everybody's excited and they're like, "Let's go! This team's winning the World Series," and then there's a portion of the season where they're just playing like doo doo and it's just you get worried, but and then they bounce back at some point, and every single year it seems that way, and in the playoffs they also have played the same or similar ways, every single year getting bounced in the ALDS or ALCS. So, they obviously have lost a few games straight now, to the Padres and the Orioles, and the Padres played well last night. The Orioles are have been a pretty solid team this year, so. They are good teams, and so that's why it's like also not something to get too concerned about. And then some of their wins were against poorer teams. So again, I don't think that this is too exciting or too concerning. It's just regular Yankee stuff right now.
I think the thing that needs to be monitored with the Yankees is where they stand in the AL East, because coming into the year they were the favorites in that division, and now they sit 8 games back, which is not where you want to be. I mean, they were gaining ground on Tampa for a while, and now they've lost 3 straight, and the Rays have also won. They've won 3 straight, so the Rays have gained 3 games on them in the last couple of days. So definitely not what you're looking for. And about the Orioles, listen, man, they're not going anywhere. I'm sure you guys saw that series with Baltimore. They're not going anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, winter's coming. We are in the end times. Never did I thought in my Yankee fan life that the Tampa Bay Rays and the Baltimore Orioles would ever jump the Yankees in the AL East. But that's the time that we live in. Yandy Diaz and guys like I'm trying to remember here. Guys like Randy Arozarena for the Tampa Bay Rays, batting 3-3. They got 39 runs batted in. It's like the Yankees are third in the AL East. Like I never thought I'd see it. I'm lost at words, guys. I'm just lost at words, and I am one to exaggerate. Like when things don't go well for my Yankees, because I'm one of those. Like I start to get upset, and it's like I don't know, guys.
You never thought Tampa would jump the Yankees in the standings?
No, never.
Tampa, I thought this year really they're going to take a step back, but they've shown that they might be for real. And the entire AL East is great as well. And we actually have someone on the line who knows a lot about AL East baseball. We have Jack Warner online, ready to talk some Yankees with us. Jack, what's up, man? Thanks for calling in. How are you?
What's going on, Brian? What's up, boys?
What's up, boy?
So, Jack, you've been seeing what the Yankees are doing. You're a Red Sox fan, so you definitely keep tab on what the Yankees are doing. But the Yankees, they're standing at third in the AL East right now, 8 games back. I mean, where do you see this team ending up? Because you could easily see them getting into the top of the division with the talent they have, but I don't know. At this point, maybe the Rays separated themselves too much. What do you think?
Well, as much as it hurts to be, as much as it hurts to say this as the token Red Sox fan of Bronx-based WFUV, right now the only team that I don't see at this moment being a threat in any capacity in the East is Boston. They are winning games, but I don't think that their pitching staff has the depth nor the consistency to keep it afloat. I understand that, they turn the bats on certain nights, but I don't see Boston right now. I think I can make an argument for every other team in the East being a threat except Boston, and that is good for New York. I think New York is a very talented team, and I also think, any struggles that they have on the bump, I think I understand we're getting later in the season. We're a month and a half, 2 months out from like the halfway point. But I still think you're in the avenue where you can not blame it, but cite injuries as a problem. I mean, this Yankees team has not really pulled a lucky card in terms of the health of their pitching staff, in terms of their players in general. I mean, it's actually good to see Judge hitting as good as he is again, because he hit a quick, little sidelining injury really early into the season. So I think what the Yankees have shown us so far, to me personally, as much as I would love to find a reason to just, criticize the Yankees and be mean about the Yankees, I really think anything that we haven't seen too good out of them is a product of this lack of depth.
Well, people always get upset when people use injuries as the excuse, right? But, I mean, what Jack's saying, you're right, Jack. It's a very valid reason for how they're not performing. They're missing 60% of the rotation. They got Severino back last weekend, but when you're missing Rodon, you're missing Stanton. Montas, Herman got suspended, they're missing Stanton. They should be happy that they're 7 games above 500 the way the season's going right now.
I mean,
and the other thing with Clark Schmidt specifically, you've seen he's somebody who he's really playing his role right now because they lack the arms that they need in the rotation. That's truly how it seems. I think his season, because he's taken a lot of flack, and I understand he's been on the receiving end of getting shelled a few times this year, but it's really been majority struggling to lefties on one side of the plate, and he's also somebody that I think truthfully, his arm coming in the 7th or 8th inning, I confidently believe you wouldn't have seen these issues. I think there's certain guys having to pick up roles that they're not used to, again, because of this lack of depth. But there's one more thing, because I don't want to take up too much time on the line. There's one more thing. Oh,
please, you're all good. You can stay as long as you want.
There's one more thing that I would just like to mention, and Brian, you're going to be amazed hearing me give a full-scale defense of not only the manager of my least favorite team, but the manager of the very manager that walked off on Tim Wakefield in 2003. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm getting really tired of the easy ejections.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's got to be a point. Listen, umpires facilitate baseball games. I'm not coming out here to say that umpires are not important, but there needs to be a point where we get it through to Major League umpires that nobody is paying their hard-earned dollars to watch you umpire. And when somebody who defends their players like Aaron Boone does, who's, a little chippy, but that's one of the things I like about him is he defends his players. Do I think that the Savages in the box comment was a little cringy? Maybe.
Oh,
do I love his energy? Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think that there's a reason that he should have been, you know what, eject him if you want to, but I don't think there's a reason he should have been suspended from that game last night. When I think suspension, I think the absolute worst possible outcome. I think something physical happened, somebody cheated, steroids, like I said, a brawl, something like that. Aaron Boone had to sit out of a game last night because he hurt someone's feelings. Are you kidding me?
I mean, he's been saying in his post games that he doesn't know why he's getting ejected from these games. He doesn't feel like he's crossing the line enough, and he's getting really frustrated with it. And Jack, thank you for the phone call, but it's really he's getting really frustrated because he's saying I'm not crossing the line and I'm still getting thrown out. It's weird, and I'm trying to figure out what the justification was for his suspension was last night because there was talk that he may have accidentally spit on the umpire and he had to be held back. It was the most fired up I've seen Boone in quite a while, but the ejection rate, he's getting up there. It's pretty startling. This is like 3 in the last couple of weeks, right, Madi?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so it's been interesting, and people love to give Boone flack, but I mean he wasn't managing last night, so I don't know who you blame that loss on.
And you two brought up an interesting point. Like Jack said in his interview, and you just said it right now, it's blame. Like I feel like it's a mixture of who do you blame, and it's like nobody's doing their part, right? Like I feel like last night, if we're gonna point the finger at anybody, it's guys like Abreu and it's guys like Nestor Cortez, as we talked about. He gassed out.
Get better, yeah.
He gassed out. What was it, 77 pitches? He gassed out. Didn't look good. It's like everybody's getting the finger pointed at them in the Yankees organization. It's like, well, whose fault is it this time, and whose fault is it the next game and the next game? And it's just, I feel like everybody just needs to do their part and stop pointing fingers. It's, yeah, I don't know. They're better than the Mets, but I feel like the Mets have a better, they have more fun. I don't know if that's just me. If you watch Yankees and Mets games.
Well, the Yankees have got a jolt with Harrison Bader coming back. That's been big. He
Sure.
provides a spark there, and obviously having Judge back, it made the offense. It brought life back into the offense
Of
after
course, he always does.
it had been really treading water for forever. But now they seem to have found it. But now the last couple of nights they've gone totally quiet. DJ LeMahieu's in a really tough slide right now, and it's been hard to watch considering he's one of the better hitters in this lineup, or at least you'd expect him to be.
Can I just say this? If
Say
we
it.
would have had him last year for the Astros series, I don't think we get swept because at that point, I think he was like maybe our second, third best bat in the lineup that we had available with the lineups that Boone was throwing out. DJ LeMahieu was really, really good. One of the better bats in our rotation.
And he's got to figure it out, but I think he will because he's DJ LeMahieu. It's a tough stretch right now, but when he was healthy last year, he was good. I don't know if we're getting 340 DJ LeMahieu, 340 average DJ LeMahieu that we had in
love that.
2020.
Ridiculous.
But the thing is, they're not even paying him to really do that. They're paying him, I think, 6 years, $90 million, which
Team-friendly.
when I saw that contract at the time for some guy coming off of a year where he had the batting title, you'll take that.
Yeah.
So you don't need him to be this great player that he was in his first 2 years. He's been very good, but he just needs to figure it out right now. And there's a couple guys like struggling in the lineup so far, or at least in this recent stretch, which is kind of played into their 3-game losing streak that they're in right now.
Yeah, I think that it's not really a blame thing where you could blame, say, like one specific person. It's just like all around. It's just like the team is just not playing well, like as well as they could, And I feel like, and going back to your point about Boone and umpires and things like that. A lot of times, unfortunately, umpires are on a power trip, and they and this just goes for sports officials, like in every single sport. You see it all the time. Like, it's like they think that people came to watch them, and it's like, no, like you need to make the right calls. You're not here to help your favorite team win. You're not here to, just eject people, give people texts, whatever, because they yelled at you. No, like you're here to do a good job and protect the integrity of the game. And I just don't think that a lot of sports officials do that very well. And but back to the Yankees, and their losing streak. I mean, again, I think it's just a tough bump in the road. I don't think that there's anyone specifically that you can go, oh, I blame you.
No.
It's just certain players hit tough stretches at certain times. Obviously, Anthony Rizzo and Aaron Judge have been really good for the Yankees,
Yeah.
but but just players have off nights and players have bad stretches, and I think that the Yankees just gotta get out of this one.
Yeah, I think there's a couple people that are kind of going through it right now, and really, when you look at the top 5 in the order, you feel good about it. It's right now. It's Glaber, Judge, Rizzo, DJ, Bader. You'll take that top 5, and then 6 through 9 is where the issues kind of start to arise. Volpe hasn't hit. He hasn't been hitting yet, and has kind of left a lot to be desired with his bat. And then from there, you're throwing out your catcher, where they haven't gotten production from that position all year long. And then the rest of it's a mix of Willie Calhoun, Oswaldo Cabrera, Jake Bowers. You're not getting much out of that. So when you talk about getting guys back from injury, that's going to be big. Stanton's going to be back in a couple of weeks. And obviously, you don't need me to say what he adds to that lineup.
Absolutely.
They're also getting Josh Donaldson back probably next week. And I know he's kind of in the crosshairs with Yankee fans, but say what you will, I think you get Donaldson back, he makes this team better.
He was good last season. I didn't see any problem with Donaldson. I know he's a bit older. I'm not too sure of his contract, but yeah, I'm a fan of Donaldson. I don't know what the naysayers have to say about him. Stanton, we all know what Stanton could do. You just hope that he doesn't die on the baseball field yet again, and then
he's always susceptible to the injury.
Yeah, because it's like even the pitching staff, when healthy, I would say, maybe you guys could argue with me or something, this is one of the better pitching staffs in baseball.
It should be when healthy. Yeah,
when healthy and
Carlos Rodon
playing great, this is one of the better pitching staffs in baseball. Yeah, I feel like the Yankees. I know you said it's not necessarily about the blame game. I could see that. That's a fair point. It's like, maybe it's a bump in the road. Maybe it's not. Again, I think we just have to wait and see. It's the New York Yankees. Is anything really secure with the New York Yankees? I don't know.
I mean, listen, if this team is fully healthy, and this is only if the team is fully healthy, I think this team can make a run at the chip. But that's a big if they stay healthy, because and if they're consistent, because DJ needs to start hitting his stride again, and things like that need to happen. So It's really about health and consistency for the Yankees and playing the way that they can. And, I think Stanton is obviously going to help. I disagree with you about Josh Donaldson, though.
Really?
Listen, last season, I'll read you this: 222 average with a 308 on base percentage. His batting average was the lowest of his career, and his on base percentage was his lowest since his rookie season.
I think, saying good last year is a little bit of a stretch. With the bat, he left a lot to be desired. I'm not denying he's great defensively, but while we're on the topic of Donaldson and the Yankees, we have New York Yankees beat reporter Lou Orlando calling in on the line. So, Lou, we're talking Donaldson now, and the Yankees getting their guys back. What do you think Donaldson comes back and adds to this team?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you guys from a little bit of a different angle definitely than the video WV posted on TikTok last night where they kind of said, hey, Donaldson shouldn't come back to the starting lineup at all. In my mind, I just look at some of the bats in this lineup right now, whether it's Oswaldo, Willie Calhoun, Jake Bauers. Even if you're looking at Donaldson's stats from last year, they're better than some of the stuff that those guys are doing right now. And right now, I just feel like, listen, you get a veteran like Donaldson in the lineup, I think he's going to give you better at-bats than those guys. And if he doesn't, then I think, especially with the Yankees DFAing Hicks, they have kind of showed you they're willing to cut loose at guys. I don't think they DFA Donaldson because of how good his defense is, but I think Donaldson really was bad when the Yankees got healthy and he didn't need to be in the lineup. You wouldn't see him in the lineup. But right now, the way the Yankees lineup is, I'm excited to kind of see Donaldson come back and just see, hey, maybe he's never going to get back to MVP form, but maybe he'll be a veteran MLB hitter, and that's something this lineup could use right now.
And you know what I think it adds, Lou? It gives Boone more flexibility with what he's able to do because you bring Donaldson back at third base. You can give DJ LeMahieu a DH day. You can give Gleyber Torres a DH day. So I think that adding Donaldson back to the lineup will help preserve guys health-wise because DJ LeMahieu had struggled staying healthy. And if you want to give Donaldson a DH day too, you can. So it gives more flexibility, and I think that's going to help him out a lot as well.
Real quick, Brian, do you give Randy Vasquez another start? I thought he looked good yesterday.
I did too.
I know you kind of get into the with rookie pitchers when they make their debut and there's no scouting report against them, they can do well. I think this is different than the Johnny Brito scenario. I think Vasquez has a legitimate 3-pitch repertoire, and that's kind of what you need to be a starter. I'd like to see him get another look, but I'm curious where you are on that.
Listen, I liked what I saw out of him last night. He was throwing the fastball well, doing a good job, but he gave up the one home run to one of the best hitters in baseball. So obviously not worried about that. And he gets sent down immediately, but I think he can find his way back on this roster. I mean, when you're going to get Clark Schmidt's going to be out of the rotation soon, and then Johnny Brito hasn't exactly lit the world on fire. So yeah, I think that if you give more opportunities to Vasquez with the way the rotation is right now, I would be all for that. I think the Yankee fans would agree with how he pitched last night, but Lou, thank you so much for calling, and we got you in at the end of the segment. Really glad that you were able to give your insight and talk with us today. Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot, guys.
So, on the topic of that, with Vasquez, there needs to be some injection of life, it seems like, in this rotation, because you're confident in guys like Cole and Severino, but Nestor Cortez left a lot to be desired, and it's just leaving the Yankees in a tough spot. And as we wrap up here, Madi, I want your final thoughts as to what the Yankees are going to do going forward and where they kind of shake out right now.
I would like to see them give more time to Vasquez. I mean, you see the Yankees trying to make this. I don't know if it's full on, but like a youth movement almost. Like you see 21-year-old Volpe at shortstop. I would like to see Vasquez come back in because again, six strikeouts was it last night, right? Yep. Look good, and then they send him back down. And you told me that was the plan all along. Well, why not? If he looks good, then just play him.